All right, I think we'll get started. Uh, Thanks everyone for joining this session called Life After Luminis. My name's Chase Williams. I'm the CEO and a co-founder here at campus, and I'm joined by Daniel Connor from Antelope Valley College and Julie Gumerman from our integrations team. Today we're going to take a look at Antelope Valley College and their journey to go from the Luminis portal from Ellucian, which is now being sunsetted, I believe, at Ellucian, and to take a look at why AVC made certain decisions to go with campus and how the implementation is going there as well. So, Daniel, I'll throw it over to you to take us through your presentation, and then during the Q&A session, we'll likely bring up the AVC platform so anyone on the call can ask some questions.
Okie dokie, sounds good. I trust everyone can see my PowerPoint presentation.
We can, yep.
Fantastic. Okay, so my name is Daniel Connor. I am the ITS project manager at Antelope Valley College, and I have been lucky enough to work with campus on the implementation, and I just want to give you guys some information on our process for finding a good platform, and then I'm hoping that it'll be good information for you all. So one of the issues that we had was Luminis. Well, Ellucian had said that they were going to be end-of-lifing Luminis. Well, that has changed. They have changed their tune since then, but we had found that there were a variety of issues that we were facing with that platform. We found that it wasn't fully responsive, and currently in this day and age, our students look at their web content primarily on mobile platforms. So that was definitely a pain point for us. We found that there were load issues at peak registration times. We also found that there were Luminis portlets that relied on Flash. And given that as of about a month ago, Flash no longer works on modern web browsers, that was an issue. We also looked into Ellucian's cloud-based portal solution called Experience, and again, we found that it was less than optimal. So we started looking at what our needs were for a portal platform. Again, we found that we needed a responsive design. We found that we needed a platform that allowed for us to engage with students. Student Life has been wanting to have a tool for managing campus clubs and groups for quite some time. And then we've also found that there are other areas like CalWorks and EOPS that wanted to have a platform to reach out to their targeted populations. We also were looking to have a platform that allowed for an intranet capacity. We have a lot of content on our public website that probably shouldn't be public, that is really meant for classified staff or faculty members. And we were looking for a platform that would allow for the creation of that content behind authentication. We were also looking for a platform that integrated with Banner. While we have implemented the Ethos API, we haven't done a full-blown Ethos implementation, and so we were looking for a platform that could integrate with RESTful APIs, and then also integrate with direct database connections as needed when our APIs didn't have the ability to pull all of the data that we needed. We also wanted a platform that was compatible with both O365 and Gmail. Right now, we are primarily a Gmail shop. However, we're in the process of migrating employees to O365. So it was very important to have a platform that was compatible with multiple email platforms. We were also looking for a platform that was straightforward to provision users from Banner to the platform. And since most things are mobile these days, we found that it would be important to pick a product that was both a mobile responsive web platform and also came with a mobile app. We looked at a variety of different vendors. We looked at Ex Libris, Unified, RSmart, the Ellucian experience product, and we really found that Campus hit all of our check boxes. They met all of our needs from a feature set standpoint. They were very straightforward and transparent with us regarding what they had done in the past with other clients. They were willing to set up a sandbox for us, and working with them has just been so fantastic, because number one, when there have been things that we wanted to have in the portal that they hadn't done before, they were willing to work on it and code it up for us and demonstrate to us that they could really bring our needs into fruition. They have past experience working with O365 and Gmail. They had worked with prior Banner clients before, and we really liked the idea that we could build our own widgets, and that the platform was incredibly extensible, and of course the price point was very attractive as well. And before really jumping into roles, I wanted to go over how we handled user provisioning from Banner to Campus app. We're doing a bulk SFTP upload of our provisioning file on a daily basis, and we do incremental uploads throughout the day. And we have those processes just running on a cron. The file includes user account information, including user roles, and we were able to use the existing roles in Banner, but we have also created new roles for group population. And these examples include first year experience, EOPS, STAR, CalWorks, student clubs, and we've also talked to a lot of areas on campus and have found that committees are going to also be using groups for communicating with their areas. I also want to mention that for each of these student-facing groups, we have disabled students from being able to see other members of the group for obvious privacy reasons. And we're able to populate groups based on any attribute that exists in Banner. For instance, if you want to create a group for an academic program for academic areas, you could create the group based on a major attribute that's being sent up via the provisioning file. And then student life, as I mentioned earlier, they've been wanting a social media-esque platform for managing student clubs and organizations for quite some time. They manage their groups on Facebook currently, but this platform will give them the ability to manage groups on their own. And while we will be creating groups for their requests, they will be managing the group, and students will be able to opt in on their own. Now, I wanted to jump in a little bit with widgets, and I know I know after I finish the presentation, Julie is going to share the platform with you all, so you can see it in action. I guess first we have the course notification widget. It uses the Canvas API to populate student courses and notifications, and then all current courses and course notifications are displayed within the widget. It links directly to the course shell in Canvas, and all Canvas notifications sent out by a professor will be displayed within the widget. The financial aid requirements widget allows for students to select an aid year from a drop-down list box, and the requirements are shown in the widget, and it will demonstrate whether or not the requirements have been met or not by the student. And the widget pulls data directly from a view in Banner. We found that the Ethos API did not have an endpoint for pulling in financial aid requirements data, and so in order for us to meet this need, we needed to set up a direct database connection and then create a view for pulling that data in. And then next widget is the grades widget. It displays student grades by term, and this widget pulls data directly through a view from Banner. The next widget is account balances. A student is presented with their current balance and a link to the payments page, and this widget pulls data from the student payments and student charges Ethos API endpoints. We haven't quite finished the matriculation widgets yet. We're working on a custom SSB page to ultimately display matriculation data for students, so they can know if they need to finish their matriculation steps before being able to register. And then we also have an employee matriculation widget that will allow for advisors to look up a matriculation status for a given student. We've also created widgets for faculty members. We have a faculty courses widget that will list courses a faculty member is teaching, and it will link back to their Canvas shell, list the class meeting time and location, and it has links to self-service Banner for class list, wait list, grading, and emailing the class. We have an approvals widget that will ultimately display the number of documents waiting for an approval for an employee with a link to self-service Banner. So basically the employee will click on the link and they'll be able to complete their approvals of finance documents. And lastly, we have an advisees widget that allows advisors to search students by a student ID or name for the viewing of transcripts, test scores, and emailing of a student. And the widget pulls in data from the person's Ethos API and links to SSB for transcripts and test scores. Now, UCRU has primarily used Asana for project management throughout the project. The scope was loosely defined at the beginning of the project, and then as we met with the stakeholders at ABC, it became more well-defined as we gathered more of an understanding of what our stakeholders really needed in the new portal. And I think that one of the things that I would recommend to anybody implementing a new portal is to meet with your stakeholders as early as you can in the process, because they ultimately will drive your requirements. My goal was to see this as a new implementation and not a migration, because since it had been so long since we had implemented a new portal, we really needed to meet directly with all of the stakeholders and not only get their sense about what features needed to be moved from Luminis into the campus app platform. We also needed to have a better understanding of what new features they would like to see. And I really think that that approach has served us well. Also, Ucru uses a platform called Canny that manages the change requests or feature requests, and they largely base new platform releases on feedback that they receive. I also want to make sure that everybody knows that there have been multiple occasions where we have been in a status meeting and we have requested a new feature, and Chase in response has said, you know what, we probably should have that feature in our platform, and has directed the developers to make it so. And that is definitely one of the big selling points as far as I'm concerned. They are very customer minded, and they see a new implementation and a new client as a new partnership. And I think that has definitely made this a great process for us. And these are some screenshots of our platform. This is from the dashboard view. A user logs into the platform, and these are some of the widgets that they see. And then we have links on the left-hand side, along with groups and pages. And this is a screenshot of the financial aids widget that I had mentioned earlier. And so these checkboxes indicate that these requirements have been met, and these requirements have not been met. And this screenshot was actually from an earlier iteration of the widget. We had received some feedback from our financial aid technical analyst that having this like grayed out checkbox might be confusing, because users might see a checkbox, and even though they're different colors, come away thinking that they have met all of their financial aid requirements. So at this given point in time, unmet financial aid requirements will have an empty white circle. And this is a screenshot of the faculty courses widget. And you'll see this is the name of the course. This is the location and the time. And then the faculty member will be able to click on this link, which will take the user to self-service banner to view the class list. The wait list icon will also take the user to self-service banner. An email class will open up your email client and allow for the faculty member to reach out to their class. And then we also have the Google widget, which displays a list of emails, and then you can also click on the Drive tab, and it will list all of your recent Google Docs. And these are just additional screenshots of the balances, course notifications, faculty courses, grades, and then the upcoming events calendar widget. And this screenshot is just to demonstrate that we have a lot of SSB deep links in the platform. And this is just an example of clicking on holds and then being brought to the SSB 8 view holds SSB page. As it pertains to timeline, we did, I guess, what would amount to a bake-off from March to July of 2020. The board approved our contract August 2020, and we did our kickoff in November. We started doing a beta of not only the app but of the site starting in 2021, and we're really looking towards going live the end of April. But we're going to run the new platform and the existing Luminis platform in parallel for a couple months. And that is pretty much it. Does anybody have any questions?
Any questions for Daniel before we move across to share the live platform? It's very thorough. Thanks, Daniel. I think you likely answered a lot of questions with your presentation in and of itself. So thanks very much for doing that. And if you stop your screen share and Julie will bring hers up, please feel free to speak to anything that we get asked about as well. Hi, Mike. Yep. We're going to go across and share some widgets now. Or maybe that's a widget sharing partnership he's referring to. I'm not sure. Go ahead, Julie.
Okay, I'm going for it. Just trying to figure out how to use this technology. Can you folks see my screen? Is it sharing?
Not yet.
Okay. Still nothing?
Mm-mm. It has been quite slow.
All right. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and see if... Oh, so it'll be one of those. So in short, I've been doing the development work to get the widgets up and running. Gotta love being the developer who can't screen share. But what is going on behind the scenes with the integrations is that we discuss what is needed for every single widget and the endpoints that are needed. And so for the most part, we've been pulling from Ethos, and Flow, our middleware product, gives us the opportunity to be able to pull in different bits and pieces. So for that faculty courses widget, which Daniel showed you the screenshot of, what was happening is that there were actually several endpoints that were being accessed through Ethos to hit Ellucian banner, and pulling those in, and then Flow allowed us to bring those into a manner that we could integrate together and use to show users meaningful information. So I believe I'm having a permissions issue. So let me go behind the scenes and see if I can sort this one out. And I'll let Chase see if he has anything else to say in the interim.
Are you saying you're having a screen share permissions issue?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Amit, just send me the link and the login details, and we'll log in. I'll log in on my side. It's fine.
Okay. It is my.avc.edu, and it is the super user access.
Okay. You might just need to ping me with that. Okay. And if this fails, then we'll have you share in the end, Daniel. Getting there. I'll see if I can screen share this. So Julie, I need you to send me the super user details. Can everyone see that though, as a start? Okay, cool. All right. I have the credentials. Everyone see that?
I can.
I think with this system, it's going to take a little while.
It'll take a second for everything to load.
Okay, let's speak to, does anyone have any particular questions about some of the widgets? Otherwise, I think just fire away and start speaking to the advisees and what was done and tell me where to click.
Okay, definitely. So for advisees, it is set up to pull again from Ellucian Banner through Ethos. And so you can search for a student through several ways. You can search by ID. You can search by first name or last name or first and last name. So Chase, let's go to search by first and last name. Okay, and we're going to put Scott in as first name and Tuss as the last name. And we're going to search. And most likely this will take a second. That is the one thing, is that it takes a moment to be able to hit those APIs because there's just so much going on the screen. But Chase, if you scroll down just a tad, we should see his information popping up. And so if you hover over those three different, the little hamburger, that guy. So there will be links out to be able to email a student, to be able to view their test scores or to view their transcript. And so this is a widget that would be specifically available to advisors, where there are many advisors and many students, but one advisor does not have a particular group of students. And so it's set up so that in any way possible, that advisor will be able to look up a given student at a given time. So moving down to the grades widget, this was actually one of the most fun to build out. It was just a direct hit to the database, bring back the grades from all the quarters, and then you drop it down and you see all the associated grades. And if we shuffle to the right, you'll hit the faculty courses widget. This, without a doubt, has actually been the most work out of all of them, simply because there's so many different endpoints we have to hit to bring back this information. And then now what's going on is the next steps are going to be, we're pulling back all the courses that a person has ever taught. And so the next step is actually going to be sorting those out by term. And then there will be a drop-down menu to be able to pull out which classes a person taught during a particular term. But right now they're able to access, again, their class list, the wait list, and the grades. We're also working out being able to email. One of the things that we hit after we started bringing back all the courses is, wow, we're going to have to work with how we manage this data. So originally it was, okay, at the widget comes up on the screen, we're going to retrieve student emails for a given course. And then we realized, wow, we can't do that because that will take a very, very long time. And so we're working with that one right now. And then if we go one to the right, we'll hit financial aid. And so this is the one that Daniel was speaking to. There wasn't an endpoint available to pull information. And so this is a direct database hit, which again, doing front-end development work is actually by far the easiest because you get exactly what you need and nothing more. But we did end up having to actually put a stopper in the back where things would refire to hit the database until we brought back information, because there was a bug surrounding, oh, wow, well, it didn't get that information the first time. It says there's nothing. Let's refresh it. And so we had to build in something so that things would refresh on their own.
Anything else you want to speak to?
And Let's see. So scrolling up, we have a course notifications widget that's hitting Canvas. Right now, our test user has no registered courses, so they are seeing that there's nothing there. And then balance is off to the right. Right now is currently pulling from an ethos endpoint that will actually be a work in progress, because right now we're seeing all charges, but we're not seeing the results of those charges after they've been resolved. So that is what we're doing. Dan, I see that you have a question about role-based, but we're seeing everything. Yes, right now we're logged in as a super user. So we're seeing every single widget in the wild. What would be happening is that only an advisor would see the advisee widget, because we simply don't want students to be able to access everybody. Only faculty would need the faculty courses widget, and then only people who are enrolled would need a course notifications widget. And that's what we do on the development team at campus.
Thanks, Julie. Anyone, any questions on some of the widgets you've seen, or specifically how we dug in to pull back some of this information? Coming through.
I see Dan has a question about things like this being built out on the business side. We have not built anything like this out on the business side, but that's because it hasn't been requested as of this point.
When you say business side, Dan, are you referring to business as a vertical, or within higher ed, like the making payments and things like that? Purchase orders, okay. Yeah, so usually what we're doing is, like, and in terms of the pay balance, you wouldn't necessarily make the payment in here, but we would have an integration that would send the user to that specific purchase order or financial platform that they need to get to. So I'll just give you a look quickly at what the course notifications side of things and Office 365 looks like if they are connected or someone's enrolled in the course. And we did just release the ability to color code your widgets as well, or it's going out later today. So they can remain black if you want them to in terms of the font, but there is the opportunity now to start to color code widgets, which I think, just from a usability perspective, helps the user find, you know, if I go to ABC here, helps the user determine, okay, where does one widget start and where does one widget end when they're seeing a tile view of widgets like this. So you can start to color code those, but you'll see here that this is what an Office 365 widget looks like. It's the same for Google Suite. So we're pulling the most recent emails into one place. And then we're also pulling recently accessed files into the Files tab as well. Additionally, the connection with Canvas in this courses widget, as Julie was mentioning, will show the courses a user is enrolled in. And in the AVC scenario, it will be the courses the student is enrolled in. And then it pulls the most recent notification from that course, should that user have a notification at that time. Is the approvals widget opening, Julia, or is that, oh, here we go. Okay. Dan, do you want to speak to what that one is and why you included that?
Sure. So the approvals widget displays the count of approvals that an employee has. So this kind of goes back to what you were asking about, Dan. The documents are really requisitions, and the one piece that we haven't added for this widget yet is the link to SSB. So we're going to have them add a link, so when a user would click on 13, they would be dropped in the self-service banner where they could then approve requisitions.
Perfect. That probably answers Dan's question better than I did. So thanks for that. So what's nice about this view here too is it speaks to some of the standardized widgets that are included in our platform, and Office 365 that I went to gives an example of that, and Canvas, the Canvas courses notification speaks to more of the standardized integrations with more of the more modern systems and APIs that we do out of the box. And then, of course, there are some of the more custom type widgets that we talk about as part of the, as we start to demo our platform and have technical conversations with partners. The AVC implementation really gives an example of how the institution can employ our integration services to do this, or to be trained and set up to start building these custom widgets as well. So it really shows a nice duality in that sense of the standardized widgets and the custom widgets we can build out on the platform. Julie, you need to check your notifications.
Believe it. Yes, I do.
All right. Any other questions while we're on this page? Okay. Well, anything else you wanted to finish it off with, Daniel, before we wrap up the session?
No, I don't think so. I think we've covered everything that I wanted to go over. Are there any other questions?
Okay. Well, Daniel, thanks so much for running through that. I think you covered everything from mobile to groups to integrations to widgets to competition for reasons for choosing the platform. So that was fantastic. Really appreciate the insight. And everyone have a great day. We'll see you in some later sessions if you attend.